And a good evening to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford, Juju Phillips along with you. Glad to have you here on a Monday. It's cool outside. I'm showing 51 degrees, and look out. Going to be down to freezing in the morning, not coming out of the 40s tomorrow. And we've got a couple of days of rain coming. We need that. We're really dry. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That was a couple months ago. We're still down like, I think, 3/4 of an inch on rain, but I think we're going to catch it up this week because I think they're talking about an inch or more rain. And it's a great time to get the rain for the simple reason just picked up my dogs from the groomer, and they're all clean, so it's time for it to rain. So they can get muddy again. But good evening to you. Glad to have you here. Special guest, I just got it confirmed a few moments ago. Coach David Lubowitz will join us from East Lincoln High School where they picked up state championship. A couple surprises from that state championship rounds, and we'll go over those in just a little bit. If you've got anything there, and I'll get Coach on the phone.
We'll talk about that. I was interested in reading about the championship game. Of course, it was something that East won. I think it was their third state championship they've won, third altogether since 2012 in the last 10 years. And it's the first time I think they've won it in the 3A classification, right? I believe they'd won their other championships in 2A. We are now, 1 week into the portal season, where so many college football players, and I wrote some numbers down, in the first 2 days of the portal, there were over 1,100 people went into the portal, and they are now possibly going to transfer. There are over 11,000 scholarship athletes that are out there in college football, so 1,100 of which are in the portal. So less than 10%, or right around 10%, of college football players, all levels now, Division I, Division II, FCS, everything that are looking for new homes, 10%. So it's not everybody is going in the portal. It's just the names, the big names from some of the big schools are going into the portal. We saw early today the quarterback at Coastal Carolina, Grayson McCall, who had that fine season a year or so ago and then had a really good year this year, had some injuries. He announced he's going in the portal, and I would bet you probably whatever you want to wager that he will be headed up to Liberty to join his old coach at Coastal Carolina. I'm sure about that. But you're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of quarterbacks, I believe, because of this extra rule with the NCAA. Yeah. They're getting that extra year rather than go into the NFL and get drafted and maybe get cut. Now they get to play college football another year, maybe with NIL.
They don't have to grow up.
They don't have to grow up. They're going to get some NIL money, probably do better in college than they would in the pros.
You're probably right. Let me head to our phones. He's gracious enough to give us some time. I know he's been busy. Coach Lubowitz from East Lincoln High School. Congratulations again, Coach. Doubled up Northern Nash 30-15. That's just awesome. That's great to bring that back to Lincoln County.
Yeah, thank you so much. We beat them by 15, but it was a lot closer than the score. That we had a really good second and third quarter, but they came out and smacked us right in the face.
No, and it is a good one. You know, the other part Juju was talking about. This is the third state championship, isn't that correct? Didn't Coach Bias win too? And weren't you part of at least one or two of those?
Oh yeah, I've been here since 2007. So we lost in 2008. We won in 12, we won in 14, and then we won Saturday.
And then the other thing, I think the neat thing that makes this one so special is no more split divisions. You are the state champion of 3A, not 3 little a, big A, but 3A, which I'm really glad that they did it. If they need to spread the love out a little bit, they need to do different divisions so that you can at least claim that title, for yourself.
Yeah, like a unified, absolutely unified version. Somebody stopped me the other day. I was pulling out of the field house here, and one of our D-tackles' dad stopped me and said, how does it feel to make history? And I said, what do you mean? He said, 16-0, 3A, none of that split division stuff. I didn't even think about it. So, not a split division. 3A, we'd never won in 3A. The other ones were in too little and too big. It's really nice. But, again, nothing happens at East Lincoln if, 18 years ago they don't bring Mike Bias in to change the culture.
Right.
So, a lot of credit goes to him and everything he did to turn the program around. I'm really just, working on his tailcoats.
Well, that's awfully kind of you to say that, and it's nice that you were a part of that staff and you could continue that culture on how it was started. And I just think it's great to have 3 state championships right here coming out of East Lincoln, and really in pretty close proximity, as far as appearances and that type thing. And I think there was supposed to be a press conference. I guess the press conference went on today, and I think they were going to talk about maybe the installation of turf. And you guys probably trumped that a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah. They met with us a couple of weeks back and said, everything looks good. We're going to bring it in front of the board, and there's a couple board members in there, and they seem to be on board. So I think, with North getting it last year, and then I think Lincolnton, us, and West Lincoln are all going to get it next year if everything stays on plan. So I'm super excited about that. There's no date, and it's not for sure yet, but I know they are talking about it either tomorrow night or next month. So I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to knock on wood. I think we're going to have some turf next year.
Yeah, I'm hearing those type of rumblings. Now, you guys have also got a capital campaign going on for the press box, do you not, for building a new press box? And I would think bringing home a state championship might help open up some of those coffers a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so. The kids and the parents worked really hard this past year. They redid our locker room. The parents did it. They funded it themselves with some members of the community, but mostly the parents did it, and that's great. And just the little things when you win that you just kind of want your kids to enjoy a little bit nicer things. So I do hope. I know that's being headed up by the Booster Club, and right now they're kind of treading water on it, but they're getting some drawings done. And I don't know if you've been in our press box or not, but it's old, it's small. It could use some rehashing.
Yes. Many times I've been in that press box, and many times I've been in that press box in September, which is not a happy time either, because it gets cooked with the sun in the afternoon. But again, congratulations.
Yeah, those windows are awful.
Oh yeah, congratulations on the game. Tell us, talk to us a little bit about how things. I've watched it off and on the high school feed, because I cut the cable a long time ago. It was on one of the side channels from WCCB, but I watched the high school federation feed, and I thought you guys played really well the times that I saw it.
Yeah, we really played well as far as the things you want to do. So we got 3 picks and a fumble recovery. We turned it over once. We stopped them a couple times on fourth. We made our field goals. They didn't have any big kick returns. The penalties were in our favor. So we were able to run the ball a little bit. We were able to throw it a little bit. Now, that was a very good – anybody who said Northern Nash wasn't for real, they were wrong, because that was a very good football team and a lot of really good athletes on that team. So I was proud of the kids. We went down early. We fumbled. Our first possession, they scored on their first one, so we were down and we had to come back. And that was only the second time this year we had to come back from a deficit, the first being the North Lincoln game. And then just exploded in the second quarter, and it really, everything just kind of started going our way, second, third quarter. And then the fourth quarter came about. We kicked a couple field goals, and we just kind of rode the timeout, and we're happy. We didn't want to win by a certain margin. We just wanted to win, so we were pretty happy with the final score.
Hey, Coach, how much did you hang your hat on your team's defense? Did they turn the game around in the second quarter Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, because the first drive that Northern Nash had, we stopped them on the first play. Second play went for about 80, and then they scored on the third play. And we immediately grabbed the kids and said, calm down, it's okay. And they were already calm. So the next series they went out, they stopped them, and I don't know if they got another they had one big pass play there in the second or third drive. But after that, the defense really shut them down. We had a little goal line stand. They got a big pass, and we stopped them. And fourth down, they kicked a field goal, went 9-0. So it was just a great night. And the defense, like it's done all year long, came to play. And when they needed to make plays, they made plays. And we had again a ton of different guys that stood out. The Ben Cutters, obviously, the Keandre Walkers, but Diego Niera had a couple of sacks and an interception from his defensive tackle spot. Just like every week this year, a different defensive guys kind of come up and be a hero, and it was great for the kids to have this year and to finish the game, kind of like they did. It was really neat to do.
What's it feel like being perfect? I mean, you don't get to say that in sports, but you guys finished perfect, 16-0.
Yeah, nobody. Rarely do you get to do that. So in 12 we were 16-0, and 14 we were 6-0, and the first time we went 6-0, we were kind of like, wow, nobody does this. And then in 14, we actually told my wife in 12, I said, to win a state championship, being 16-0, that doesn't happen a lot. And then we did it in 14 again. And then a couple of weeks back, she said, well, you guys haven't lost yet this year either. So, it's really amazing to win the 3 state championships, but then to do them all with perfect seasons. It just means something special. That means, really that the kids dominated the whole year long. And that's kind of been their mantra and what they wanted.
Coach, when you look at it, you always look, this season's over. That means the new season began today. For next year, what do you look like as far as I know you've got some guys that are being highly recruited, probably got quite a few D1 signees out there. What do you look like? What do you lose? Where's your areas that you'll need to start rebuilding for next season?
Yeah, we've got returning. We lose a lot of seniors and a lot of senior leadership. I think more than the talent, we lose that leadership. So we're looking for the sophomores and juniors to kind of step up as leaders. But we've got 4 returning defensive players, 1 on each level. We've got a D lineman, 1 linebacker, and 2 secondary kids. And then we've got 4 offensive kids returning, 4 different ones. So we essentially have 8 of the 22 starters back, which isn't a great place to be. But a lot of times in the past, what you see is the younger kids kind of saw how the seniors did it, and they make that big leap from junior to senior or sophomore to junior. So leadership's what we're looking for in the off season, to see if this young group can kind of pull together like the seniors did and try and make their own little run at it.
Coach, did you see a lot more as you went, in the playoffs, and even this weekend? And I know with Division I coaches, the signing day I think is next week, early signing day. Did you see a tick or an uptick of coaches being around practice or hearing from college coaches at all different levels the further you went in the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've really been in contact with us because, Ben Cutter, our linebacker, is going to West Virginia, and then our DB's going to Virginia. So we had 51 coaches last spring out for our spring practices throughout the 2 weeks. I counted up 51 coaches, and that was tough. To try and get stuff done and keep the kids focused. But that kind of kept going. But you're absolutely right. As the playoffs went on, I think this last week here we had a different college at our practice every day. We played on Saturday, so we practiced for 5 days. So we had 5 different Division I, Division II, Division I and Division II schools there this week. So yeah, and that part of my job is obviously the best because I get to talk to them and they get to tell me stories, and I feel like I know all these people that are on TV every weekend. So it's a lot of fun. It can be distracting, but there's definitely an uptick, which there should be because if the teams, if the teams win it like they are, there's obviously some talent, so they need to come see it.
Well, and the other thing is, and I'm sure you agree with this as well, you like to see your kids succeed even after they've outgrown you or aged out from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, we've had a lot of kids sign and play, and I love when they come back and they're like, when I was coaching linebackers years ago, we had a kid go to Western, and he came back, and I said, how was the first week of practice? I said, Coach, we're doing all the same drills. And, that stuff makes me really excited because it means we're putting them on the right path to be successful, not only in high school, but obviously at the next level. So hopefully this crop that goes out this year comes back and tells me the same thing, that, we prepared them well for college football and for college life.
One final question before I let you go, because I got asked this question. I couldn't answer it. Where are you from originally? I lost him.
Yep.
Maybe it's too much to ask him the question.
I would guess did I ask him the last time he was on the show?
I can't remember.
Or when he was in studio? There, he's calling back.
It's okay. You hit mute. You meant to hit mute, and it's okay.
Yeah, I hit you. I'm not calling.
That's okay. So, and we were talking about it, and I got asked that question. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Ohio, Northwestern Ohio.
I don't know why I was and don't get offended. I was thinking Michigan, but it was close. I know how Michigan and Ohio folks don't get along.
Boo, that's right. Boo, Michigan. Yeah. So 25 years in Ohio, 5 in California, and this is my 16th year in Denver. So I've been really all over the place.
Yeah. That's awesome. Coach, we appreciate the time as always, the short notice. I thank you for coming on, and congratulations again to your kids. As I told you before we went on the air, you can check the Wednesday edition of the Lincoln Times News. You will be front page with the big group picture celebrating the win, and we're all excited for you, and we're excited to be able to give you some of that love back.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks, Coach. Coach Lou, what's East Lincoln High School. Great guy. I love having him on, and I'm so happy for him. He's been part of all three.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had been there that long.
And that defense this year giving up less than 6 points a game.
Yeah.
Through 16 games.
Pretty impressive.
That is very impressive.
Pretty impressive. Let me take a break. We'll be back with more.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
guy like that. Oh, welcome back. We appreciate Coach Lubowitz joining us. And I was not aware, or maybe somebody had told me, that he had been there for the other two with Bice. And I thought that was admirable that he said that Mike Bice is the one that kind of turned the culture around down there and did a good job. I'm excited for him. I like to see any school do good now. There's some people up here in this part of the woods that can't be happy for other schools if they've got the wrong colors on and that sort of thing.
It's competition.
I know.
Very competitive.
Bob Duckworth said the Lady Bears up 37-25 over Pembroke at the half.
That I was going to mention the other sports at LR, baseball, basketball, they'll play UNC Pembroke, but they won't play them in football, or at least they won't play them in conference games. Pembroke's in a conference up with teams up in Ohio, in West Virginia. Division II. They're in the same conference with teams in West Virginia.
Were they always Division II, or were they FCS at one time?
No, they started out with Division II. They start out as an independent for Division II. And funny you mentioned that. The guy that started the program at UNC Pembroke went from Pembroke to start the program at West Florida, Pete Shinnick, and they won a national championship back in 2019.
Best team money could buy.
Yeah, and over the weekend he was named the new head coach at Townsend State up in Maryland. But Pembroke's their travel budget must be crazy to travel all the way up to Ohio and West Virginia, and then you got schools around here.
Mm-hmm. Chad Mullis posted this earlier, said that Fred Lanford passed away today, and I had to look him up.
Longtime baseball coach, South Caldwell.
Majority of his time in Caldwell County, a native of Woodruff, South Carolina. He went in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Sports Hall of Fame in July of 2019. He was a graduate of App State in '65. He began his coaching and teaching in Woodruff and won a pair of state baseball championships in South Carolina there. And in 1965, he moved to Hudson High School.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1977 to the Consolidated South Caldwell, consolidated with Granite Falls, where he coached until his retirement in 2000. His teams earned 19 conference championships and 82 state 4A baseball crown. He won 538 games against just 141 losses.
That's amazing. He's in the Caldwell County Sports Hall of Fame, I'm almost certain. And for his last few years as a coach, he helped his son coach basketball in Catawba County. His son was the head coach at Jacobs Fork Middle School.
He said he coached men's basketball for 22 years, rolled up a mark of 327 and 220, 3 league titles. He's a member of the Caldwell County Hall of Fame and Woodruff High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
but
legendary coach.
Thoughts and prayers there. I have not seen that, Chad. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Let's see. I told Juju – talk a little NFL football. Trubisky was awful yesterday.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky.
I mean,
he threw 3. He had 3 bad passes.
They weren't even close.
No, they weren't. He stared down the defense, and I watched the game, and they moved the ball against the Ravens, but you can't lose to a 13 quarterback, and a guy had never played before. The Steelers ended up losing. They knocked out their backup quarterback. Lamar Jackson wasn't playing. He was out with his knee injury. The backup quarterback was knocked out with a concussion, even though the Steelers lost their starting quarterback, Kenny Pickett, with a concussion in the first half, and that's when Trubisky came in and threw 3 interceptions. The Steelers had a blocked field goal. Even at the 3 interceptions, they had a chance to kick basically a 35-yard field goal. They make that, they end up winning the game, 17-16. So
it was not pretty. It was not pretty.
No, it wasn't.
And I will say
those
this.
games aren't. Ravens and Steelers aren't pretty.
The only thing about it is when that game was over, I really enjoyed watching the Bills and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Little snow and rain coming off the lakes, and that was a pretty interesting game too.
And then you have the Panthers and what they did.
And
to go to Seattle and beat Seattle the way they did, the way they stuffed them, they ran the ball down their throats.
So does Steve Wilkes and or deserve an opportunity to be named the head coach?
Yes, he should. They play hard for him. defensively, they get after it on defense.
He's accomplished more since he took over than Rule did while he was here.
I know.
The whole
And
tenure.
Matt Rule's going on every radio show that'll have him on, and he was saying, and I heard they're doing a promo. I can't remember what. Maybe it was on the ESPN college radio station that's on XM radio, and they had him on, and he said, there's no difference between coaching college and in the pros. He said, yeah, it's all about relationships and people. He said there's no difference in coaching, and I'm thinking he must be a big old phony.
Well,
and that's being nice.
And here's the thing. In my opinion, and I'm not that smart. You actually coach players in college. In the pros, you manage players.
That's probably right. Yeah. But for him to come out there on a national radio show and say there's no difference.
Why he sucked in the pros, because he thought he was coaching college.
I don't know. Whatever it was, I think the players lost respect for him in the locker room. Probably
way back.
Yeah,
I think he lost the locker room a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, Steve Wilkes has won it back.
Yeah,
I think he has. And like a lot of teams in the NFL that don't have all these wild weapons and throw the ball around the yard, they get down and they run the football. And their offensive line is playing pretty good. They rushed for over 200 yards yesterday and smacked them in the mouth. And their defense gets after it. Again,
without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I mean, they got the Foreman guy. He runs the ball, 6 feet?
Dante Foreman?
Yeah, 6 foot, 230. Yeah. It's hard to bring him down.
I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it was a game worth watching. I watch them anyway. Sometimes I get pissed, but
and I was watching it too because the kid from Seattle, one of the backup wide receivers, and a kid on the kickoff team, and the gunner on the punt team, former LR wide receiver Derek Young, played yesterday. Wore number 83. He didn't do much. Wasn't in much of the action. He was on the special teams, but he didn't make any tackles or anything. But I was watching for number 83 every time that Seattle either punted or kicked. But the way the Panthers handled Seattle, and Seattle had a 7-4 record or 8-4 record, and they're in line to make the playoffs. And the Panthers went up there and smacked them in the mouth. And if they
pretty good going to Seattle and doing that.
Yeah, and if they went out, they may make the playoffs. Stop. They could.
Stop.
You tell me what is easier to watch? Watching.
Did you know they're one game out of first place?
I know. They play Tampa Bay in a couple weeks.
I know, that's amazing.
Is it Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve? They play
Christmas Eve.
Tampa Bay.
I think. Pretty sure. Because I think I got tickets.
They'll flex that game. They'll move it to a Sunday night. They'll move it to prime time with Tom Brady.
It's a Saturday game. Can't.
Okay.
I think they can only flex Sunday games. They can't, and I don't think they can flex. Once they split them to Saturday, Sunday.
Gotcha.
I think that's right. Now I don't know that for sure.
Well,
but
they'll have to
something in the back of my mind.
They would probably put it prime time because that game has a lot of drama, and I think the way he's playing. Have you been paying attention to what Tampa's not doing? How bad they are? Their offense is that. For him to lose yesterday to the San Francisco 49ers and the 7th-round draft pick, making his first start in the NFL, and it got down 28-0. Brock Purdy, it got down 28-0. And he looked, I don't know, he's going through the motions.
Tommy
or what?
Stone.
Is he playing? Is he going to play next year?
I don't think so.
Does he go back to New England for one final thing? And then get rid of Mac Jones because he ain't playing well either.
Wow, I did not know this had happened, and I'm not even going to attempt his name. I didn't realize that Navy fired their coach after the game. That was a great ball game.
It was.
Great ball game.
Coach Kent. Niumatalolo.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. And I'm a big Navy fan. My dad was in the Navy. My birth father was in the Navy, and I like the way they run that wishbone better than the Army did. Army runs the wishbone too. Navy's a little bit more flamboyant, but I like. Yeah, he was the winningest coach.
Winningest coach in program history at 109 and 83. Earned a reputation for graduating his players. his honest approach and avoiding NCAA infractions, and he got fired.
Well, I mean, the NCAA is not going to mess with Army or Navy or Air Force. I bet he gets a job right now.
15? He's been there 15 years?
15 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. Where does he end up?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if you
and here again, you're going to have the best conditioned athletes on the field from one of the academies, but you're not getting the best athletes.
No.
Size, speed.
No, you can't.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't have many that's going to go to the next level because they got 4 years they got to pull before they can do that.
And they're asked a whole lot while they're there. Their time is managed quite a bit, and you're right. But I would guess he would get another Division I job somewhere.
I would think so. I had not heard that though.
Yeah, they let it.
He also
yesterday.
said, "How about this? Navy doesn't redshirt.
No, they don't take transfers either.
So they had freshmen and sophomores facing players from other academies with a 6th year of eligibility from 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't take red shirts.
Midshipmen are required to graduate in 4 years.
Yeah. They have standards.
Wow. I wasn't aware of that. And I'm usually...
And I think it's even more difficult at Army when it comes to some of the restrictions on acquiring players and building your roster.
If I'm watching an Army-Navy game, that means I'm very limited on what I've got because I don't really know either one of those programs. But that was a great, great ball game. And the other side of it is I have, like other things, I love to watch it after the game.
Oh yeah,
to watch
the traditions of them, singing and going up in the stands.
Yep.
Yeah, it was something else. Our buddy Coach Huss, Jack Huss, went to the Army-Navy game a couple of years ago. I think the one that was in a snowstorm. It was in. Wow. I think it was in New York.
Now I thought they always played in Philadelphia, but they said this is the last year in Philadelphia. So does it go back to?
I thought it rotates between New York and Philadelphia.
Okay, they play in the Meadowlands.
I thought they played in Yankee Stadium.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I knew it was one of the big stadiums because they were at Lincoln Financial, which is where the Eagles play, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually Philadelphia is like, well, is Philadelphia halfway between New York in terms of where Army is at and Annapolis, Maryland? Is Philly in between? I'm wondering why they chose Philadelphia.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I think they played a couple of games. They played the one game because it was a snowstorm, and it might have been 2019. Couldn't have been 2020.
I don't know how long. I know they don't rotate every year. I don't know how long these contracts last.
Yeah.
So if it had been 2018, that had been been 3 years ago. Maybe it's I don't know.
4 years ago.
I don't know. Milton said, how about San Francisco has a pretty good backup quarterback, even though he's Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, yeah. Last player picked in the draft.
And he did do pretty well.
I mean, you beat Tom Brady in your first – I think he's the first – did I read somewhere he's the first quarterback to do something in his first start as an NFL player since somebody, Don Strock, back in the 70s with the Dolphins.
Okay.
28-0. I couldn't believe that. I saw that score and said, man. So I flipped it over, and I don't know. Tom Brady just is – he's stepped in the elevator shaft, as they say.
Yep. There is no news concerning Mike Leach. And I guess you know this story.
Yeah,
hospitalized.
Massive heart attack.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
They've not come out and said that.
Yeah.
It just said all I've seen is suffered what was called Sunday a personal health issue. And then now, according to the Clarion Ledger, this is an update. Leach had a massive heart attack. He was at practice with the team Saturday, preparing for Illinois in the Relia Quest Bowl on January 2nd. With him hospitalized, defensive coordinator Zach Arnett has been put in charge of the football program. Pretty
serious, I understand.
Yeah.
Stuff that I've read.
They said, yeah. But I that was one of the ones that kind of took me, I guess, a little bit by surprise too.
Yeah, it did, and he had been, he's considered, I guess, the father of modern passing game in college football with the air raid, and
now
all these guys that are winning the Heisman trophies, their coaches all were tutored under Mike Leach.
Now
Lincoln Riley,
Mike Leach got in trouble at Texas Tech with Craig James' son. Am I remembering that story right?
Yeah. It has to be then because, he was from SMU.
I think that's right. Let me take a break. And then let me
go down a rabbit hole.
Let me go down the rabbit hole because I'm pretty sure that's the one, and everybody got real upset because they say it cost him his job. But let me take a break, and then we'll delve into that when we come back.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
All right, let me address my rabbit hole, and then I'll see what you got on your list. Mike Leach got fired from Texas Tech back in 2009 under an accusation that he mistreated Adam James, Craig James' son. And I know you got some stuff over there, so I will look up.
No, you keep
Adam.
talking.
I'll look up Craig James, because he kind of disappeared
from the public scene. Yeah, he's not on TV anymore. You don't hear him on the radio. He doesn't do anything with ESPN. No, Mike, I had some notes on here, and I'm wondering, it's again about college football. Do you think this NIL business is going to run its course? Or are we still going to be hearing a whole lot about it? Or, if I'm a business, at some point, if I'm a business, do I want to throw my money at a kid for 1 year who's going to transfer?
I don't think the money, I don't think the money that is getting thrown around is truly quote-unquote business money. I think this is under-the-table money that now they can just do it.
Like in politics, they call it soft money, maybe?
Yeah. I'm not so sure that the money has increased that much. It's just now you know about it because you have to. You have to be told about it.
It's a golden age for college kids right now. At all levels. But if I give money to the kid, wouldn't it, if I'm a donor, whatever you want, booster, whatever you want to call it, do I not want to give it to the college, university to upgrade their facilities or do something to have more of a lasting impact, as opposed to giving a kid a bunch of money for 1 year in these collectives that you're hearing about? Whereas you're not getting any return on your investment, and the kid, if he doesn't like it, he gets up and transfers somewhere else.
I don't know.
And again, we're talking about a small percentage of these kids getting that kind of money. But we're seeing more and more of it because the NCAA goofed up years ago during COVID when they granted everybody that extra year. So you got 24. For instance, on the FCS playoffs, a school called Incarnate Word.
Yes.
Yeah. They're out of Texas.
They won.
They won. They're in the Final Four. They got a quarterback that's been 6 years at 5 different schools. He's been at 5 schools. This is his 5th school.
There's another former Clemson quarterback that's looking for his 5th school.
Wow.
I saw it's in the portal now.
They got to figure out a way. These kids cannot be eligible. How do you be eligible 5 different schools?
I don't know. Let me give you my rabbit hole. As I said, Mike Leach fired shortly before the 2010 Alamo Bowl. Leach had allegedly forced Adam to stand in a shed for 2 hours during practice on 2 different occasions.
That's crazy.
Went to the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor. In light of the allegations, ESPN removed Craig James from announcing the Alamo Bowl, replacing him with Bob Davie. In a lawsuit filed by Leach against Texas Tech, he alleged that Adam voluntarily placed himself into the electrical closet and apparently took pictures with his camera phone.
Wow.
Since the James family is not a party to the lawsuit, we deem it inappropriate to discuss it here.
And what year was it?
Well, it was 2009. Right before the 2010 Alamo, so it must have been in December. Leach later filed a suit against James and others for defamation and wrongful termination related to the publicity surrounding the incident. That was later dismissed on a summary judgment. But it doesn't. This is on Craig James' He ran for U.S. Senate in Texas in 12 and finished a distant 4th out of 9 candidates, only getting 3.6% of the vote.
No, I didn't finish 9th, so it's not too bad. Is that the last time he ran for office?
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really say what's happened to him. It says James owns his own broadcasting school, the Craig James School of Broadcasting.
Well, I mean, he was a pretty good broadcaster, as I recall.
Says that he left ESPN in 2011.
Controversy?
No, to run for the U.S. Senate.
Oh.
I know that you can't, if you're a candidate for a political office like that,
you can't have a broadcasting job, right?
Not unless whoever you're broadcasting is going to give all of your opponents equal time for free.
Could you own a broadcast entity?
Yeah, as long as you're not on the air.
Okay.
But I'm not running for office. Okay? If nominated, I will not run.
Yeah.
If elected, I will not serve. Okay, as long as we got that.
And since, I'm spouting off things, I don't get this NIL thing, that some of these guys are throwing money at 4 and 5 stars and they have them for 1 year and they go somewhere else. Locally, were you caught off guard? Were you surprised at the announcement from Catawba Valley Community College about them going to drop sports?
Yes, I was. They had,
and everything I've read, no quotes from anybody.
How do I put this? They had kind of set themselves out there as being a leader, running in the forefront of these athletics at the community college level.
Yeah.
Now, just so we're all on the same page, they play in a particular group in the junior colleges that do not give any type of scholarships.
Yeah, I think
there are some JCO schools that give scholarships.
That's Division I.
But
I think it's Division II.
CVCC does not give any type of scholarship assistance.
My understanding is that they've had, they've made national runs at championships. Mm-hmm. Their baseball team's been very good, and other sports there have been very good. So
we need to get Steve Peeler on.
Yeah,
he's not happy with it.
No, he used to work there, and he's no longer there now. But I would guess, Lanny, from my understanding is somebody's got to pick up the travel costs. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they get their things budgeted. Do they have to fundraise? Does each coach have to fundraise?
Yes. They're not allowed, because of where they're at, the college is not allowed to fund any athletics. So I don't know how this works. I know an athlete that played there, and every year for 2 years.
What do you mean by fund out? Does that mean you get maybe a discount on your classes that you're taking?
No. They're just regular students, but then they have to do their own fundraising to help cover travel costs for the team.
It's okay. So, or they have. Don't they have a boosters club that they raise money? They have a golf tournament.
They have a golf tournament, yeah.
But they need to do more than a golf tournament.
Yep. And I have contributed.
Yeah. So so the kids that are playing sports, they're going to school, but they're living where, an apartment near across the street?
Yeah. Or home. I guess I'm bothered because you started all this stuff and you're not finishing it.
And I think they're going to finish it until
they've quoted. Here's the quote: they have suspended.
Yeah.
Now they're going to play baseball, softball, and something else through 23, and then it will be suspended.
Yeah.
But like cross country and volleyball got suspended immediately.
They're going to, I guess, look at it again in the springtime and see whether or not they want to go forward.
You're there. Would you hang around and see?
No, well, they got to recruit too. So think about that. You can't even recruit if you're on.
What are you recruiting for?
Yeah, if you're on hold,
mm-hmm.
and these kids are one and done, or 2 years and done. That's
now,
a tough spot, man.
I saw somebody,
and nobody's come out from CVCC hold a news conference, quote anybody in the story. They say, okay, in the articles that I've read, they said here are the reasons why, but nobody's been quoted as saying I'm so-and-so, the whatever president or vice president has come out and said anything, but there's been no quotes, no direct public knowledge or public acknowledgement of the reasons for this happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like secondhand
budget
news.
No, budget cutbacks. This is off the CVCC website. And I read an article from the Hickory Daily Record.
Mm-hmm.
This is the official announcement. Due to enrollment decrease and budget shortfall, the Board of Trustees at Catawba Valley Community College approved a reduction in force. Now, this was the first thing they did. They cut 28 positions. Okay? 27 positions. 6 faculty positions.
Yeah.
21 staff positions. My understanding in reading through here, it was announced earlier this week that 2 fall athletic teams, volleyball and cross country, which just started, along with other extracurricular programs, will be suspended until further notice. Current winter and spring sports, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and esports, will continue until the end of their current 23 seasons and will be reevaluated if the funding landscape changes. This was a CVCC president, and this is coming off the Catawba Valley Community College site, quoted as saying, "These were not easy decisions, and it's a difficult day for Red Hawk Nation. I had remained hopeful that our college would fully recover from COVID, but that's not the case. I regret that these decisions were necessary for those affected and appreciate their contributions to our college and our students. Despite all these difficult times, I believe that Red Hawk Nation will be resilient because we are committed to serve our students, community, and business partners in both Catawba and Alexander County. We will continue to offer dynamic educational programming, superior workforce training, and sincere community investment because these are the pillars of our institution."
There you go, the pillars, and I understand that. They just don't want to be in the sports business, right? Because if you look at enrollment, how many sports teams they have? Half a dozen?
I'm probably going to regret saying this.
But they have all these athletes that are students. Now they're not going to have these students anymore.
So enrollment's going to go even lower.
Yeah, even further down. We must have hit a nerve, Lanny, because both our phones are blowing up.
No, that was totally separate from this. This is kind of like getting married, or getting pregnant. And then you decide,
I'll let you have the floor.
And then you decide, I'm not sure about this. No, can't do that. You committed to these kids.
Yeah, they're committing to the rest of this year is what they're doing. And they're saying we're on hold.
So what if you've got a kid that was recruited and this is their first year, so now they don't have a second year?
No, then they look for someplace else to go. There's
I
programs up the road at Caldwell. There's programs at Gaston.
Caldwell's done it for years.
Yeah. Gaston College has them now? So the board of trustees, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they voted?
Mm-hmm.
Or
my
my
understanding is, and I was hoping I saw it here, but I didn't. I read somewhere there was a $1.3 million budget shortfall.
Oh, I thought it was like there are 15 people at CVCC, their salaries.
Oh, no, there's
combined.
9. No, wait a
There's
minute. Of the 9 highest paid county employees in Catawba County, 4 of them are at CVCC.
Okay.
And I read another article. Those 4 got raises in 2022, either $22,000 total for those 4 or $60,000. I can't remember.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Maybe it's in this Hickory Daily Record article. And here again, folks, I'm in the newspaper business now. I don't create.
No.
I don't create news. I just report it.
That's it. There
I
you
just
are.
report it.
There you go. And we're just asking questions.
Yeah, this
right?
is it right here. This is where I saw it.
We got more questions and answers.
This is straight up Maya Banks from the Hickory Daily Record. I'm just telling you what it says. I'm crediting
Tyra Banks?
Myra.
Oh, Maya Banks.
Decreased its budget by $1.3 million. Meanwhile, CVCC's 4 highest paid employees are among the top 9 highest paid earning public employees in Catawba County, according to salary data supplied by CVCC and local governments. In 2022, I believe
which they are required by law to do if you ask for it.
That's correct.
Right?
Oh, you can go search it. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
The combined raises for CVCC's top 4 earners was nearly $66,000, including a $20,628 raise for Dr. Henshaw. Now, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this one, okay, because I'm guessing here. I thought that I read somewhere that he was the highest paid public employee in Catawba County.
More than the county manager?
I think so.
Mick Berry, right? County manager, I think. The county manager is always, it's to me, just remember from back in my reporting days, Tom Lundy was a long-time county manager, Catawba County. I think he's that position is the highest paid position. I think.
I'm gonna
Public
tell you
position.
In just a minute.
I'll bet you a chicken sandwich.
I could have sworn
we
I
ought to
read
buy a
this
chicken
somewhere.
farm. You ought to buy a chicken farm. The heck with these newspapers. You buy a chicken farm.
Okay, this is November. This is November the 7th. I've got a subscription. Would you stop? They've had problems with their site. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Okay. I can't seem to
break the wall there.
No.
I'm almost certain, though, the county manager is the highest paid public employee.
Okay. I'm going to find that out, and I'll report on it later. Can I report on it later?
Yeah.
Well, see, it says welcome, Lanny, so I'm there. Inquiring minds want to know, so I'm going to keep it right here.
And the funny thing is, the president of CVCC is a longtime baseball player. Played college baseball at Appalachian. In fact, I think all the presidents in this area, Caldwell and CVCC and LR, all were college baseball players.
Okay. Now maybe it'll let me into this one.
Nope.
It knows who I am. I'm logged in. Oh, geez. I think they're having trouble with their site.
That won't be a first.
Easy, because that's the same website we use. That's the same hosting service.
Okay.
We're currently experiencing technical difficulties. There you go. Okay, let me get back to you on that, because I can't find it. One last rabbit hole. What else you got over there?
That was it. I didn't mean to go down a big old rabbit hole. I just wrote down CVCC situation. I talked about the NIL. We talked about the Panthers. The Braves made a big trade today. Atlanta Braves. They picked up a catcher who's probably one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball, Sean Murphy from the Oakland A's. I like these kind of trades, Landy. They got 3 teams involved.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves, the Brewers, and Oakland. So like 2 or 3 players from each franchise swap. They go all over the place. And the Braves picked up a catcher. I don't know what they're going to do with Dansby Swanson. He's still out there. We need to get Steve Peeler on.
Yeah.
Works for the Atlanta Braves. But and the other news, the basketball news over the weekend, did you know Paul Silas?
Yeah, passed away.
Yeah, he passed.
79?
79.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good man.
I like Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Paul a few times, talked to Paul a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as did I.
Yep. No, he was one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Yep. One last rabbit hole. We'll get out of here. We were talking about venues and different places, and I was telling you about Vesuvius.
Okay. Mount Vesuvius?
No, Vesuvius Vineyards.
Oh yeah, that's
down
right.
in Denver, 700 acres. But it was named after a historic home and iron furnace. The house was built in two sections, one dating back to 1792. 2-story, 5 bays wide, 2 deep, one-story shed porch. Was built in 1790.
Wow.
The furnace, okay, there's a square pyramidal structure, but the furnace was about 20 feet high. It's filled with dirt, debris, and vegetation, but Vesuvius Furnace was established by General Joseph Graham, one of the chief leaders in the 18th and 19th century production of iron in Lincoln County, was the father of Governor and Secretary of the Navy William Alexander Graham. It's on the National Historic Register.
Hence the name of the area is Iron Station, right?
That's correct.
Is that why?
Very big iron producer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. I wanted to ask you, and we don't have time now, and I don't know if you still watch. Do you watch? The show just escaped me now. Yellowstone. Do you watch it?
No, I've tried. Everybody gets mad at me because.
No, don't get mad. But I went back and caught up because I was late on jumping on board, and this summer they had it on Paramount Network on cable, and I got caught up. And this is my opinion. First 3 years were pretty good. All kind of action. You know, it was like a cowboy.
You run out of storylines.
They've run out of storylines. It's a dang soap opera now.
That's why
it's like Dallas was back in the 80s.
I couldn't watch it. Bob Duckworth update: 60-44 Bears.
They're going to go
with
to 11
4 minutes left on a hard and small seat in Shuford Arena.
I think they went 19-0 back in 1980. So they got a ways to go yet before they break a school record for most consecutive wins to start the season. But 11-0 is pretty good, pretty impressive. And that counts their exhibition win over Division I school, UNC Wilmington. But, yeah, I mean, it's good. Their program, they won more games already before Christmas than they've won the last 2 years combined, just about. They're going to be close. And, again, a program that was in a whole lot of hot water. They got sued and everything else, and they've got rid of a lot of those players, and they brought in half of their team or transfers. They went through the transfer portal, and it's working for them and their new coach. Anyway, I'm all out of, but we need to talk about Yellowstone because the guy that comes up with Yellowstone who developed it, Taylor Sheridan, he's doing like 2 or 3 other projects. I don't know if he's spread thin. They did the 1883, and now they got the 1923 with a couple of famous actors. Who's the guy played in Star Wars, Indiana Jones? What's his name?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford's in that, along with a couple of other actors and actresses. And that's supposed to be coming out, too. And I like those old kind of movies and old kind of shows like that.
Because we're old?
No, the Westerns. I like the Westerns.
Okay.
But this one is no longer a Western. It's more of a soap opera.
Love Tombstone. That's all I'll say. Lenny Anthony, thank you, Lenny. Breaking news, basketball coach Chris Beard, Texas, has been suspended because of felony assault charges.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
I think I heard it today, maybe driving down here.
Let me glance over here just 1 second and see. Yep, right there it is. Until further notice. Felony domestic violence charge.
That's serious.
That catcher Murphy was a 3-team, 9-player deal.
Okay.
There you go.
9 players.
Yeah. No show in the morning. My wife's got a little procedure and won't be here. So catch you back on Wednesday. I want to say 4 is back on Thursday, but I'll keep you updated. Anything major breaks, I'll help you with it. Have a great night, everybody. I'll catch you soon, sometime, whenever. See you.